All right, part 3, guys. Right next to the tequila. So plus equity build, you're looking at around $75,000 a year. I am building my wealth with OPM, other people's money, all from that $300,000 cash that I had in lieu of doing a little bit of financing. And that equals $225,000. That's almost $250,000 for doing not that much, a little bit more than diddly squat right here because you're not doing anything other than cashing a check every month. But that's $36,000, guys, even though with an offer that's 50 grand more, but it only equals $36,000. And down here, I'm looking at almost $250,000 in 3 years, and I've done very little work. I'm building my wealth because this is wealth build right here. Because it's not liquidity. Well, some of it is positive cash flow, but we're just talking wealth generation right now. I'm not going into the details of the cash flow, but this will be a cash flow positive. Well, and I'm not buying a house in Vail, ski in, ski out for $1 million because that's probably not going to be positive cash flow for at least 3 years. And that's if you get a good deal, but I digress. I'm really wanting to buy a house in the mountains and it's just not happening right now because I can't get the numbers to work. So I'm not even looking because then it breaks my heart. So anyway, what I would look for this would be Boulder, Denver, and potentially downtown Superior are the 3 I can count. But the 3 regions, most likely Boulder, but it's just, Denver's better. Boulder's just not, the numbers are just too much for the rents they are getting because the home prices have inflated so much faster than the rents. The rents have actually been kind of stable, and I'm actually seeing up to a 10% decrease actually in the Boulder area, which works. It just doesn't work if you're buying a property and you're an investor right now. That's not what you want to see. And I might buy a property that's negative cash flow for a year or 2, but I mean, that would be a personal decision, and it would be that Vail ski in, ski out, and I'm going to stay there part of the year. So then I can justify it, but then the property is a liability. It's not an asset because anything that's costing you money, it's not an asset. It's just not. You argue with me all day. It's just not an asset. It's a liability because it costs you money and it doesn't make you money. Anyway, my soapbox. So equity build. This will make me potentially almost $250,000 in 3 years building my wealth off other people's money. And I know when we looked at the face of it, it looks like, man, this 635 is a lot better. And I'm going to go with most realtors are going to give you their advice and they're going to think this is the best offer. And if you look at it just dollar for dollar at the top, well, it's like no brainer, 50 grand difference. Go with the 635. Sometimes it's worth it to get a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an investor that I would say has made a ridiculous amount of mistakes over the last 12 years. However, every day I'm a little smarter than I was before. And if I'm being honest, I screw up so much more than most people that I know, which also gives me an advantage because then I also do so many things that are better than so many other people. And it's not because I'm brilliant. I mean, I'm awesome, but I'm not, I wouldn't say extraordinary at anything. It's just I try a lot and I get knocked down constantly. I just get back up and I get better every time I do it, this is how I can analyze this here. And then, I didn't even need to touch on the liability portion of this because I own that home. What if they stop paying? Do I want to repo a house? Is that going to be fun? Do I want to physically evict these people, go through the court systems and remove someone from their home because I'm going to repo it? Because how does that go? How do people react? I've seen that show on, I don't even know what channel, the repo, I don't know. Doesn't go well. I'm sure those are mostly fictional characters there, but I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I haven't even gone into liability. This is just one and done. And now I got $1 million